Well, very good morning to you, Desiree, and of course to our SABC viewers. What you're seeing right now are visuals of the former Deputy Chief Justice, Dikgang Moseneke, just walking past. Just for our viewers, just a quick interview with you, if you may. How are you feeling?
We're just about to start.
Okay.
We're ready to go on. And we've checked the law, and I think we're entitled to go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much.
We will be going ahead this morning, okay?
Okay, thank you.
And the rest of the week.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Thank
thanks
you.
for coming.
I'll catch up with the Deputy Chief Justice, former Deputy Chief Justice, Dikgang Moseneke inside. As you've seen, Desiree is just walking inside and saying that proceedings are just about to start at 9 o'clock. And up first, of course, is the CEO of the IEC, Mr. Sai Mamabolo, who will make his submissions to the Commission. Of course, as you've heard Justice Moseneke saying that this process will take a week. They will be hearing oral submissions. I understand the IEC submissions will be in person, and of course the rest will be via Zoom platforms. As you know, that the country is now under adjusted level 4 lockdown. But just basically to give you a timeline of where this started, Desiree, if you'll remember, on the 20th of May, just a day after the by-elections, we heard the IEC announcing that Justice Moseneke will then chair this inquiry to investigate whether it would be feasible to actually hold elections under this COVID-19 pandemic. Fast forward to the following Monday, the 24th of May, we saw Justice Moseneke setting up that inquiry. And of course, from the 24th of May to the 18th of June, he's been soliciting views from various stakeholders and various, political parties as well. And not forgetting members of the public who are crucial. You've correctly cited there earlier on saying that over 3,000 submissions have been made, written submissions have been made to the inquiry, and voice notes of course. And of course, today we will be hearing those oral submissions made to this inquiry. We also know that the Director General of the Department of Health and other stakeholders from the departments will be making their submissions. But this also comes at a time, like I said earlier on, where the country has been placed under alert level 4. We heard there the President saying that all political gatherings, have been halted, and the EFF quite critical, of the President's announcement. We heard them say yesterday that they will be defying the President's announcement. We heard there last week when covering the march to the SAPRA offices, the EFF saying that lockdown is not a solution, but instead vaccines and vaccination of South African citizens are the way to go. So there's quite a number of, mixed reactions in terms of, the elections on the 27th of October. Some political parties like the IFP, like the EFF, saying that elections should not take place on the 27th of October when we are actually faced with such a pandemic. And of course, those rising numbers of COVID-19 and this new Delta variant that has been identified that is ravaging the lives and livelihoods, not only of South Africans, but of people around the world. So these are just mixed reactions ahead of, this inquiry. We spoke to a couple of people yesterday, just saying that some want the elections to go ahead as planned. Others saying they don't want the elections to go ahead as planned. Others even citing that countries such as India have been dealt a blow because of the elections. We saw those rising numbers in COVID cases. Others saying that, but the Americans went to the polls and not much actually happened in their country. So just mixed views from the general public, the general population, and of course politicians as well, and various other stakeholders, Desiree.
Natasha, just to make another point on the importance of this process, it's important what the former Deputy Chief Justice just said to you now, that they have checked the law and they can go ahead with the process, because holding elections is a constitutional requirement, and tampering with that process does require a level of certainty.
It definitely is, Desiree, but I mean, if the outcomes that are to come out on the 21st of July from his inquiry, if they actually say otherwise, that it isn't conducive to actually hold the elections, on the 27th of October, then a process needs to then get underway of, going to the electoral court, changing the constitution and so forth. So it's just a lot that actually needs to go, into this whole process. But of course, we will have to wait for the 21st of July to actually hear some of those outcomes coming out of this inquiry. But I mean, really mixed reactions, not only from political parties, but also from the public as well. I mean, some saying that if, the trajectory continues and if we see these rising numbers of COVID, then it really isn't feasible to actually hold those elections throughout the 27th of October. But of course, this all lies in the hands of Justice Moseneke, and I guess South Africans will be waiting with bated breath to hear what the inquiry or the outcomes of the inquiry come the 21st of July. But just for South Africans to note, Desiree, the by-elections that are set to take place this Wednesday on the 30th of June, of course, have been postponed because of that announcement yesterday by President Cyril Ramaphosa. So, I mean, the IEC really has its work, somewhat cut out for it. Remember last year they had said that they want to clear a backlog of those by-elections. So these by-elections yet again are postponed. Political gatherings are postponed. Political parties then cannot hold their internal selection processes like the ANC with the BGMs. The EFF is still, undergoing the process of its regional people's assemblies. It remains to be seen whether or not they will continue with this process, because they said in a statement last night after the president's speech that they will be defying President Cyril Ramaphosa's,
Natasha Phiri there, coming to us from outside the IEC building where these inquiries are being held, and they have started. Let's take you there.